Here are the 9 episodes of Star Trek you need to see before Picard. Back in 2018 at the Las Vegas Star Trek convention, Sir Patrick Stewart announced he'd be reprising his role as Jean-Luc Picard. And it's no joke to say that Trekkies and Trekkers alike were instantly on board for this upcoming series, counting down the days, hours, and minutes until its premiere. And with Star Trek Picard set to hit CBS All Access this Thursday, they're gonna finally get to see the continuing adventures of one of the most beloved Starfleet captains of all time. But it's been 18 years since we last saw Jean-Luc on screen in 2002's Star Trek Nemesis, and even longer since Star Trek The Next Generation left our airwaves. So it's understandable if your next-gen knowledge is a little last-gen. Like, do you remember who Okona was and why he was so outrageous? It's a little season 2 humor for you. So to help us all prep for Star Trek Picard, we thought we'd name 9 pieces of Star Trek history to binge watch before Picard premieres. Now, to be clear, this is not a spoilery episode of Nerdist News. All of these suggestions are based on what we've seen in the trailers for Picard thus far. Also, while these are some of the best episodes of Star Trek, this isn't a best of ranking episode, so please don't create weird replicas of us on the holodeck on which to act out your anger. We're looking at you, Lieutenant Broccoli. So, in chronological order, let's engage. Our first pick is the Next Generation Season 2, Measure of a Man. One of the things we were most shocked by in the Picard trailer was the return of Data. And this episode is both Picard and Data on the top of their game, doing what Star Trek does best, argue ethical dilemmas. Specifically, are androids individuals or are they the property of Starfleet? It was a hugely important episode, not just for Picard and Data, but for all of the Federation as well, as their entire charter was, about seeking out new life forms. And as Picard would say,
well, there it sits.
Next up, we're counting a 2-parter as one episode. I know we've already broken our own rules, but hey, it's our show. Suck it. Of course, we're talking about the Season 3 finale and Season 4 opener, Best of Both Worlds, which is honestly next-gen at its best. It has one of the greatest cliffhangers in television history and features longtime Picard nemesis, the Borg. We actually have a shot of a Borg cube as well as 7 of 9 in the Picard trailer, so we know they're going to factor in some major way. Next up is Season 4, Episode 2, Family. Now, this episode deals with the fallout of Best of Both Worlds after Captain Picard is assimilated into the Borg Collective as Locutus, and he's forced to deal with the fact that he's responsible for the deaths of over 10,000 people.
I should have been able to stop them. I should have.
It shows that underneath his stern exterior, he was still as emotionally vulnerable as the rest of his crew. Plus, we finally get to see the Picard family vineyard, which appears heavily in the trailers. Now from here, we warp over to Season 5 with I, Borg. This one makes the list not only because it furthers Borg lore as well, or Lorg as I like to call it, but it also furthers Picard's own issues with them because Hugh, the Borg who's been de-assimilated in that episode, has been confirmed to appear in Picard as well. Now, in addition to the Borg, another of Picard's frequent adversaries are the Romulans. To say that he has a storied past with them is the understatement of the future. From the Picard trailer, we know that he led the armada that helped evacuate the Romulan homeworld before its destruction, which we saw in 2009 Star Trek. And to see some of their shared history in one of the best episodes that gets into the minds of the Romulans, we recommend checking out Season 6's Face of the Enemy. And if that doesn't scratch your itch enough, check out Season 3's The Defector. If you're still itchy after that, call a doctor. Later on in Season 6, we have Tapestry. Now, this episode is a great look at what makes Jean-Luc Picard tick, and what in his past made him the captain that he turned out to be. And for all the characters who wondered if he was just heartless and only just horny for Earl Grey hot, turns out he's not. He was just stabbed through the heart by a Nausicaan and had it replaced by an artificial one. There's an important distinction there. Legally, he has a heart, just not the one you expect. The final Next Gen episode we're going to recommend is actually the final Next Gen episode, All Good Things. Now, besides just being a fitting end to this excellent series, this episode gives us a glimpse of a possible future for Picard living on the family vineyard with a glorious beard, as well as for the rest of the crew. I mean, a glimpse into their future, not their glorious beards. Hopefully we'll see that as well. While we can't imagine the show's going to follow this future to the letter, we're going to bet there's a bunch of references to this particular episode in Star Trek Picard. Now, those were 7 episodes of Next Gen to brush up on before Star Trek Picard, but we promised 9. How could we only give you 7 of 9 Next Generation episodes?
What's so funny?
Well, because this next episode is actually a Voyager episode that focuses on You guessed it, Seven of Nine, who's also set to appear in Picard. Now, if you somehow don't remember about the Borg who regained her humanity, check out her very first appearance in the Star Trek Voyager two-parter, Scorpion, in which Voyager makes an uneasy alliance with the Borg to combat species 8472, which ends up resulting in Seven of Nine joining the crew. Now, of course, there's one other thing that we think is worth revisiting before Picard, and that is 2002's Star Trek Nemesis. And it's not just to see a young Tom Hardy playing a young Picard clone working for the Romulans. It's because Nemesis is technically the last that we saw of the Next Generation era. Plus, it dealt with the sacrifice made by Data to save the Enterprise's crew, which has to be addressed in some way with Data appearing in Star Trek Picard. So there you have it, folks. Those are the 9 pieces of Star Trek you should binge before watching Star Trek Picard when it premieres this Thursday on CBS All Access. But tell me, what do you folks think? What's your favorite episode of Star Trek? And why is Picard the best captain? Also, who do you hope to see in Star Trek Picard? Let's discuss. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed what you saw, why not give us a like and subscribe while you're at it? And if you want to get notified every time we go live with a new show or release a new video, please feel free to mash that little bell. That way you can be up to date on all the latest theories, news, and rumors in the pop culture world.